Being an NBA star isn't always a straightforward experience. Generally, people assume that making it to the league is the antidote to all your problems, and that it's all plain sailing from there. But unfortunately, this isn't always the case. Alongside the pressures associated with being a professional athlete, your place in the public eye means that no aspect of your life is off limits. And if there are rumors in the background about shady activity on your part, you can bet that eventually it will come to the light and result in a scandal. And while there are instances where people are rightfully outed for misdeeds, there are other occasions where famed players have to fight to clear their name and stop any slander that might have brought their career to its knees. It's your boy louaista, and this is when NBA stars destroy false allegations. And when we're discussing claims that almost wrecked a player before they managed to overcome them, there's no better way to start than with Kobe Bryant's battle against a sexual assault case. Back in 2003, Kobe was on the sidelines as he recovered from a knee injury. At that time, Kobe was already a key player for the Lakers, serving as a crucial playmaker. And 6 years into his career, it looked like nothing was stopping him. But his whole NBA tenure, reputation, and personal life was about to be brought to a standstill by allegations from Caitlin Faber, a 19-year-old who was working the front desk at a hotel in Colorado. After encountering one another at her place of work, there was a flirtatious moment between the two that led her coming to his hotel room. From there, she alleged that consensual kissing escalated into unwanted physical restraint and sexual assault, despite her repeatedly requesting for him to stop. After she filed a complaint with the cops, Kobe was charged with felony sexual assault. And the news shocked both Kobe and the league to the core. And immediately, Kobe and his lawyers were claiming that he was falsely accused.
Kobe Bryant is innocent of the charges that were filed against him today. He stands falsely accused of an extremely serious crime, a crime that carries with it the potential of a life sentence. No prosecutor should file charges unless the evidence is so strong that the case can be proven beyond a reasonable doubt. The evidence in this case falls far, far short of that standard. The accusations in this case cannot be proven because they are false. Kobe Bryant did not assault his accused. Kobe Bryant will plead not guilty.
While Kobe struggled to even speak from how frustrated he was over the situation.
Furious at myself, disgusted at myself for making a mistake of adultery. I love my wife with all my heart. She's a backbone. You're a blessing. You're a beat to my heart. You're the air I breathe.
The end result was a lengthy 14-month journey to a resolution, with the court case being widely chronicled in news reports. But it was anything but simplistic to reach its end. For starters, some witnesses discredited the accuser, with one witness claiming that she did not feel the woman was a victim of sexual assault because she seemed to make a joke of it and commented about the money she was going to make from the trial. She had a big smile and seemed really bubbly, said a hotel guest named Janet Woods, who claimed that she saw them earlier that evening. She went on to state that the woman was being very flirtatious with Bryant, acting in a way that you would typically expect to see at a bar. Meanwhile, Bryant's lawyer, Pamela Mackey, suggested that the accuser's injuries could have been caused by consensual sex with multiple partners in the days before her encounter with Kobe. Under all the new scrutiny, Kobe's accuser chose to not testify, and this led to the criminal charges being thrown out. However, that's not to say that Bryant didn't take any personal responsibility. Although I truly believe that this encounter between us was consensual, I recognize now that she did not and does not view the incident the same way I did. Although it was followed by a civil suit which was settled out of court in 2005, Kobe's pockets were also hit, and that he lost sponsors such as Coca-Cola, McDonald's, Nike, and more, and his replica jerseys began to lie gathering dust on the shelves. Experts estimated that he lost between $4 million to $6 million in endorsement contracts as a result. The byproduct of this drama was Kobe developing a whole host of coping mechanisms to get through this experience. Initially, Bryant considered sitting out of the 2004 and 05 season, but says that his wife Vanessa urged him to play. This period of turmoil also led to the birth of the Black Mamba persona.
In 2003, I went from a person that was at the top of his game, had everything coming, to a year later having absolutely no idea where life is going, or if you're going to be able to even be a part of life as we all know it. I hear everything that the crowd is saying. I hear it. So it's It's like this place where it was my refuge is now being bombarded with all kinds of things that they would say.
After watching Kill Bill one evening, a movie which an assassin uses the codename Black Mamba, he was inspired to adopt a nickname and persona as a way to separate his on-court mentality from his personal life. For the rest of his life, Kobe became one of the most visible and passionate advocates for the WNBA and women's basketball after his NBA career. He would regularly attend WNBA games, mentored female athletes at all levels, and used his platform to promote the women's game. Kobe was also deeply involved in supporting his daughter Gigi as she pursued her basketball dreams. He coached her team at the Mamba Sports Academy, hosted training camps for WNBA players, and was often seen courtside at Gigi's and women's games.
Kobe and his daughter in the building, breaking down the game.
I love this.
But still, there are those who feel that he should have never been cleared, citing evidence relating to DNA and examinations, which they believe suggests that what happened was clearly not consensual. But even Kobe continued pushing on, and he admitted that it had a lasting effect on his psyche.
To what extent do you think having gone through that had a positive impact on you and really made you better long term?
Well, I think it challenges who you are as a person. To have to go through something like that, with not only individually but as a family, and then for the organization, the Lakers organization, my teammates, it was extremely difficult, and you kind of had to do some soul searching because you're fighting numerous battles at the same time, and you're just kind of trying to figure your way through all of this mess. And the only thing that you can do is just put one foot in front of the other and just continue to move forward. And there's nothing else you can do. There's times where it just seems like days are just endless. This is never going to end. This feeling, this dark time is just never going to be over.
As for his teammates, they noticed an impact too. According to Gary Payton, it led to him always having to look over his shoulder. Tragically, Kobe, his young daughter Gianna, and others would all pass away in a horrendous helicopter accident in 2020. And while he is generally regarded as a legend, there are others such as Gayle King, who couldn't resist dredging it all back up in the wake of his passing.
She was going to be in the WNBA.
It's been said that his legacy is complicated because of a sexual assault charge, which was dismissed in 2003, 2004. Is it complicated for you as a woman, as a WNBA player?
It's not complicated for me at all. Even if there's a few times that we've been at a club at the same time, Kobe's not the kind of guy, never been like, please go get that girl or tell her or send her this. I have other NBA friends that are like that. Mm-hmm. He was never like that. I just never have ever seen him being the kind of person that would do something to violate a woman or be aggressive in that way. That's just not the person that I know.
But Lisa, you wouldn't see it though. As his friend, you wouldn't see it.
And that's possible.
Mm-hmm. Is it even a fair question to talk about it, considering he's no longer with us and that it was resolved? Or is it really part of his history?
I think that the media should be more respectful. At this time, it's like if you had questions about it, you've had many years to ask him that. I don't think it's something that we should keep hanging over his legacy.
But it's fair to say that there's a lot of people who will defend him no matter what, now that he can no longer do it himself. Not least of all, Snoop Dogg.
Gayle King, out of pocket for that shit. Way out of pocket. What do you gain from that? I swear to God, we the worst. We the f***ing worst. We expect more from you, Gayle. Don't you hang out with Oprah? Why y'all attacking us? We your people. You ain't coming after f***ing Harvey Weinstein asking them dumbass questions. I get sick of y'all. I want to call you one. Is it okay if I call her one? Funky dog head bitch. How dare you try to tarnish my motherfucking homeboy's reputation, punk motherfucker? Respect the family and back off, bitch, before we come get you.
These days, Kobe is widely regarded as one of the greatest to ever step onto the court, but he's far from the only legendary Laker to have to try and combat allegations. Yet in LeBron's case, the most troubling ones he's had to face all revolve around his claims that he's not necessarily playing fair in his continued pursuit of greatness. At 40 years of age, LeBron James continues to possess a near unprecedented ability, but even more impressively, he's done so without sacrificing any of his natural athleticism. In fact, if anything, he's only improved in this realm. And when it comes to how he's overcome aging like this, there's been a lot of speculation that he's added some chemically induced help in the form of performance enhancing drugs.
LeBron looks awesome. He looks awesome. Did you see Chael Sonnen's been ranting and screaming? He's on steroids. Everyone knows he's on steroids.
Guy's 39. He's averaging 35 minutes of game. He's top 5
Yeah.
in the NBA in minutes.
And stories like LeBron somehow gaining 7 pounds of muscle during a single playoff game doesn't exactly help either. Brian Windhurst, a well-respected NBA insider, wrote in his book The Making of a Billion-Dollar Athlete about how LeBron's weight would fluctuate wildly during the season, sometimes even within the same day. Some Heat teammates saw the scale and attest to it in amazement. James himself just shrugs and calls it weird as hell. The truly wild part is that it was 271 pounds to 278 pounds. Though, James is much lighter these days, and over the years, changes to his physique have continued to arouse suspicion, with some people wondering if the league's biggest star is really playing fair.
I don't care how you take care of your body, or rather, one of the ways you take care of your body. The fact that LeBron James has taken very few games off this season, not like last season, 2 seasons ago, when he mysteriously in the offseason lost like 30 pounds of muscle mass and didn't look the same and didn't play the paleo to die off, paleo die.
And to many fans of the sport, they're just not buying it either. Bron legit gained 25 to 30 pounds of lean mass over a summer when he was with the Cavs. I remember how insanely jacked he got when he returned. You simply don't gain that much mass in a summer naturally. Then, there were the issues regarding the 2013 Biogenesis lab investigation, which uncovered several professional athletes who had been supplied with PEDs by an individual named Tony Bosch. During the scandal, a former employee pointed out in an old interview where Jessica, who used to work closely with LeBron, spoke with a guy named Incarcerated Bob. In that interview, she hinted that LeBron might have been getting the PEDs through his agent Rich Paul.
For LJ, like this guy named Mr. Paul would come in and Mr. Bosch would just give me a check and he would tell me to put in as LJ paid for that month.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Mr. Paul would come in every month, you said?
Yeah, every month.
So since you were working there, you seen him come in every month. You said you were working there for almost, a year and a half? So over 15, 16 times this guy came in?
Yeah.
And he would pay Mr. What did he get from Mr. Bosch?
I'm not sure, but I know for sure he was getting some products.
So he was receiving products, and he would pay for the products every month. And now you're saying that every time Mr. Paul would pay or give a check or whatever, however he would pay, he would actually, Mr. Bosch would tell you to put the initials LJ into the file as paid for the month.
Over time, trainer David Alexander, who worked with James during his time with the Miami Heat and Cleveland Cavaliers, and James's longtime friend and business associate Ernest Randy Mims, were both named as having received illegal performance-enhancing drugs. But in the end, Tony Bosch would be sentenced to 4 years in prison. And while speculation ran rampant, LeBron would be exonerated in 2023 when documents cleared him of any wrongdoing. There was never any indication that LeBron James did anything wrong. Despite this seal of approval from the law, it hasn't stopped some fans remaining adamant that he is on juice. It also doesn't help when people like Chael Sonnen, a famed MMA fighter known for his PED use, has claimed that Bron is on the same regimen as him and other elite level athletes.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't matter, right? It's like a baseball player. You're hitting a stick out of the way. It doesn't matter. It's like, no. If you knew what these performance enhancers did, then you would know why it does matter.
What do you think he's
There's
doing?
only one. We have the same drug guy, if you will. I know exactly what he's doing. But there's only one golfer.
Please tell.
There's only one golfer. I'm not going to. But there's only one golfer that follows the big three. And the big three is EPO, growth hormone, testosterone. That's the Lance Armstrong diet. There's one golfer, but it's Tiger Woods. Like, yes, it does matter. People will say it all the time. It doesn't matter. John Daly won it. It matters. Trust me that it matters. EPO matters. It's the reason LeBron takes it.
Or when many former teammates, including DeMarcus Cousins, are still cagey about discussing it. As a result, some fans feel like Bron being outed as a steroid user is a foregone conclusion. He spends over $1 million a year on his body. He's been on some form of PEDs for sure. LeBron fans wouldn't care, and LeBron haters already know he's on them. Whether or not he is truly on the juice, the fact remains that he's a true icon of his era. The only problem is that if these rumors ever materialized, it might affect where he's seen in terms of GOAT status. But LeBron is far from the only individual who's had to look down the barrel at rumors threatening to destroy his career. Just look at what Derrick Rose had to go through. As he tried to recapture the explosive athleticism that he had during his legendary 2010-11 season, Derrick Rose was hit with a $21.5 million sexual assault lawsuit, which was shortly after he arrived at the Knicks in 2016. In the suit, the plaintiff claimed that they, in this instance Rose and 2 friends, had sex without the woman woman's consent when she was incapacitated from drinking and possibly drugs. Even though she was a woman that he had been seeing for about 2 years, things didn't look good for Rose at first. For one, during the deposition, Rose admitted that he didn't know the definition of consent. He also acknowledged that he repeatedly pressured the woman to send him sexual videos and take part in group sex, requests in which she consistently refused. As for Jane Doe, she claimed that the three entered her apartment and had sex with her while she was blacked out after drinking tequila at Rose's rental house earlier. This prompted an investigation from the LAPD, but nothing came from it. And slowly but surely, Derrick managed to explain his side of the story. According to him, Rose said he grew suspicious when the woman texted him later that same day, saying how drunk she was and mentioning burns she got from a fire pit outside of his Beverly Hills home. He claimed, "It looked like a setup. It turned out to be what I thought." Then, Rose said the only time the woman said stop was after she let the 3 men into her apartment and they all headed for the bedroom together. She told us one at a time. "In my mind, she consented every time we had sex. Why wouldn't she do it this time?" he said. When asked if he felt any remorse, Rose answered, "I'm sensitive to it. I feel I didn't do anything wrong." In the end, the jury agreed, finding him not liable. And from there, Rose announced that he and his friends sought damages for defense costs.
Derrick Rose is seeking $70,000 from a woman who accused him and 2 of his friends of sexual assault in civil court. Rose was found not guilty by unanimous decision in an October trial in Los Angeles, tossing out the woman's $21.5 million lawsuit.
As for the Jane Doe, she reportedly planned to appeal the decision, but it was rejected by the courts. In the end, Rose put it behind him and eventually came back stronger, scoring a career-high 50 points just 2 years after it all went down.
Exum has it blocked in the corner. Derrick, 2011 MVP.
Rose retired as a legend and is set to be eligible for the Hall of Fame in 2027. To Derrick's credit, he managed to shut out the noise when it all got too much, opting to focus solely on what he could control instead. But as for Kevin Durant, even with all the awards and accomplishments under his belt, it's tough to say that he handled things with the same level of grace, because eventually it clearly got to him. So much so that he made a burner account just to fight back against the criticism. As the story goes, Durant had anonymous accounts for a long time before he was eventually discovered. And this happened when he inadvertently defended himself from the point of view of a fan on his official page. At KD, I respect the hell out of you, but give me one legitimate reason for leaving OKC rather than getting a championship. He didn't like the organization or playing for Billy Donovan. Immediately, it's fair to say that this caused a stir.
There is no doubt that Kevin Durant felt that way, but really, those tweets to me, if they are indeed from him, is sort of letting him off the hook, because it's talking about the team and it's talking about Billy Donovan instead of the real reason he left. The real reason he left is because he didn't feel he could win a championship with Russell Westbrook.
So even from his fake account, he's lying too, just to be clear.
Well, again, if that's the case, I don't know.
But while he initially tried to deflect, Durant eventually owned up to it.
You break down the burner account for me? Because it broke the internet.
Yeah, I wasn't used to that amount of attention, from playing basketball. I wanted a place where I could talk to my friends without anybody just butting in my conversations or mixing my words or taking everything out of context, because I enjoyed that place.
How'd you come up with that idea though? Were you like, yo, I'm just gonna create this account, I'm gonna start going?
Yeah, I had an Instagram account that I just used for my friends and family. Like, it was a cool place for me to just be me instead of worrying about Bleacher Report or Barstool, just mixing up anything I want to say to CJ or my friends from back home,
But he didn't stop there. Instead of admitting that it was just something widespread across the league, he doubled down.
About the burner account is everything that you said on the burner account, you just started to say on Kevin Durant's account. What do you make of people's reaction to you responding to fans? And if you think something, you send it.
Yeah, I just think people are still upset that I went to the Warriors, and a lot of people who are Cavs fans who enjoy watching the Cavs beat y'all before, which is a lot of people. I didn't realize that until I got there. A lot of people enjoy seeing y'all lose in 2016, and a lot of those people were upset that we were so good. And they're still upset because you do the same shit on Twitter. Damian Lillard does the same shit on Twitter. CJ McCollum does the same shit on Twitter. We all do the same.
While KD had to own this one, there are times where he's faced more serious claims that have never been truly proven. For one thing, there were allegations of contact tampering between he and Draymond Green after the Warriors lost to Cleveland Cavaliers in Game 7 of the 2018 NBA Finals. Right after the Warriors lost in one of the most insane NBA Finals games we'd ever witnessed. It was one of the most brutal losses of Draymond Green's life, and he didn't cry about it. Instead, he grabbed his phone and texted Kevin Durant, see what we're missing? We need you. Make it happen. At the time, OKC still thought Durant would stay. He was still upbeat in conversations with the team, but once that Game 7 loss happened, the vibe shifted. His replies started getting colder and more distant. Meanwhile, back in Oakland, Draymond was staring at his phone and waiting, and eventually the message came through where he said, "I'm ready, let's do this." Weeks later, on July 4th, 2016, Kevin Durant signed with the Golden State Warriors and changed the NBA forever. And this wasn't a one-time thing. Durant faced similar accusations again when he announced his plans to join the Nets, which was before the trade window even happened. But once again, there was nothing anyone can really do to make it stick. And that brings us to something even bigger. The kinds of stories so clouded in mystery that they stay debated forever. Yep, we're talking about one of the wildest conspiracies in NBA history. Michael Jordan's secret suspension. The year is 1993, and fresh off his third consecutive championship, Michael Jordan announced his retirement just one day before training camp was supposed to commence. This came as a shock to the masses, being that he was only 30 years old and exhibited no signs of slowing down. Citing his love of basketball, Jordan wound up making a move to the Birmingham Barons to play with aspirations of making the MLB. But by March 18th, 1995, he announced he was returning.
"I'm back." That's all Jordan said on Saturday. That was really all Jordan needed to say as his 17-month retirement came to an end. He will be back on Sunday when the Bulls play the Pacers, and probably not so coincidentally, the game is on national TV. The Bulls arrived in Indianapolis on Saturday night.
So what caused this 17-month long hiatus from the sport? If you believe MJ, it came down to his love of baseball and a desire to honor his late father who had been murdered just months prior. But others believe that it was the byproduct of a backhanded deal with Commissioner David Stern, which allowed him to suspend him over his gambling issues without causing any real friction or controversy. Over his career, MJ was open about his gambling habits, but he insisted it was just a leisure pursuit and was never a cause for concern. In fact, he even went as far as to say it was the only negative thing people would level at him.
Do you have a gambling problem?
No, I enjoy it. It's a hobby. If I had a problem, I'd be starving. I'd be hawking this watch. My championship rings, I would sell my house. I would do this. My wife would left me, or she'd be starving, or my kids would be. I do not have a problem. I enjoy gambling. Soon, whenever I walk away from this game, I think that's the only thing that people are going to say was a bad thing about Michael Jordan.
Could soon be after this year?
Could be.
However, others felt that what he sacrificed in the name of gambling and what he earned were incomparable, meaning that losing millions in casinos was essentially nothing to him. But back then, there was some heat getting applied to MJ over certain debts, namely a $57K check which was found addressed to James Slim Buller, a known crook who he was involved in betting with. As the feds closed the net on Slim for dealing coke, Michael was called to testify in his trial, while the NBA investigated whether he was betting on NBA games. All the while, Michael's love of betting continued to spiral out of control. At one point, it was alleged he turned down an invitation to the White House on the grounds of family obligations, only for him to allegedly spend that time gambling. While in the book, Michael and Me, Our Gambling Addiction Might Cry for Help, Richard Escanas alleged that Jordan ran up more than $1.2 million in golf gambling debt. Still, as the pressure mounted, Stern defended Michael, but with some caveats.
We have to be, I think, very cognizant of in the course of the summer, not for Michael, but for dealing with the questions our fans have raised about our players, and we're looking into a lot of related subjects on gambling per se.
How can it not be a serious concern if the most prominent figure in the league is involved persistently in high-stakes gambling?
Well, what's your debt structure, Bob? How much money do you owe?
It doesn't make any difference. I don't represent the NBA. I'm a reporter.
But I'm not about to, well, no, you represent NBC, but I'm not about to go about and see how much our players owe. I don't think they should owe it to the wrong people.
And shortly afterwards, MJ would retire, complete with a suspicious mention of David Stern in the press conference.
I'm saying right now I don't have the mental drive to come out and push myself to play for a certain folks. 5 years down the line, if that urge comes back, if the Bulls have me, if David Stern lets me back in the league, I may come back. But that's an option that I would never close on. I like to have that option, and that's something that I'm willing to deal with and take the chances with.
And Michael Jordan has completed his final news conference.
My special contribution
Perhaps.
was the tone. You never saw anything like it, and you won't ever see anything maybe not like it again.
To this day, the idea that Michael Jordan's gambling habits led to a secret suspension or even bigger trouble still lingers. In fact, former Mafia boss Michael Franzese once claimed that Jordan's gambling debts might have had something to do with his father's tragic death.
So he had this serious gambling problem.
and then his father gets murdered. And there was always speculation if one had something to do with the other. From what you know.
Again, I don't have firsthand knowledge of this, but being that I was working with the NBA at that time, I was told two things. One, that he was told to leave the NBA around the time that his father got murdered because stories were about to come out and there was a lot of heat on the fact that because of Michael's gambling habit, his father paid the price. And the NBA didn't want the press, so they asked him to leave for a while. That's when he went to play baseball. And then when things settled down, he came back. The plan was always, from what I was told, for him to come back.
But as for the claims of a suspension, these were denied by both Jordan and Stern himself in the famed Netflix series The Last Dance. I didn't retire because the league kicked me out or they suspended me for a year and a half. That is not true. There is no truth to that, Jordan said. I needed a break. My father just passed, and I retired. I retired with the notion that I wasn't going to come back. Meanwhile, Stern said that the urban legend that I sent MJ away because he was gambling, ridiculous. No basis, in fact. But while people are willing to accept that Stern's hands are clean on this one, there are other things which he's finding it hard to outrun. Most notably, the 1985 frozen envelope theory, which alleges that the NBA rigged the lottery so that the Knicks could draft Patrick Ewing. According to those behind this theory, he selected an envelope with a folded corner, enabling the Knicks to draft Patrick Ewing first.
That is Jack Joyce. He's the head of security for the NBA, spinning the drum. About 6 turns, I think. We're very delighted. I think you knew too. Show what you got in your hand. He has number 33 all printed up here already. Patrick, there's confidence for you. So you will make a call to you.
Oh yeah, I'd like to speak to him, and it takes a little suspense out of who we're going to select, but
you can buy that, okay? All right.
Yes, this draft was fixed. Remember that this was the first lotto ever, and Ewing was one of the biggest college prizes to come out in a long time. Since then, speculation has been unending, with even Patrick himself not exactly shooting it down in flame. You know, it might have been fixed, and I don't care, added Ewing. I ended up where I was supposed to go. And if this was an isolated incident, fans would be willing to chalk it up as a strange occurrence. But these days, it seems like NBA greats are continually blowing the whistle on this practice. Here's Shaquille O'Neal talking about being drafted to the Orlando Magic, a situation which made him think twice after the fact.
I don't know if you heard this story, but in 1992, I think the draft was in June or something, I meet Mr. Stern in March, and he says to me, hey, no, you are. Can't wait for you to come to the NBA. Then he pulls me to the side. You want to play where it's cold or where it's hot? He asked me that. Yeah, he did. He asked me that, and I was like, hot. And he smiled, and I smiled. And then a couple of days later, they had the draft thing, and the top 3 things. And then Minnesota was number 3. I was like, and then Charlotte was number 2, and then Orlando, Florida was number 1. I was like, I didn't think anything about it, but, you hear a lot of these conspiracy theories, and, there's a lot of situations that could make these things sound good and sound true. Like, okay, Dallas gets rid of one of the best players, but, we're getting a new one.
Similarly, LeBron has also suggested that there was something a little strange about his Cleveland pick back in the day.
During the lottery drop, Cleveland got the number 1 pick. I just don't think that was. What a coincidence! Don't you just keep LeBron home? You know what? Patrick Ewing to the Knicks. Derrick Rose to the Bulls. I understand the aside.
These days, the controversy has reared its head once more, with many individuals believing that the Mavericks were given the first-round pick in exchange for trading Luka Doncic. Apparently, there was only a 1.8% chance of that happening, and the odds of the top 3 playing out exactly the way it did were just 0.44%. Now, Cooper Flagg is projected to be the number 1 pick by the Dallas Mavericks in the 2025 NBA draft, and fans aren't buying that this happened originally. At this point, it's clear that there are a lot of conspiracy theories out there, but that's not exactly shocking, especially when some of the suspicion isn't baseless. And there's a darker, seedier side of the sport that people don't always see. After all, you have proven match-fixing rings overseen by people like Tim Donaghy, who has gone on record insisting that the NBA are by no means innocent. This isn't exactly aided by people like Andre Iguodala, who claimed that the Sixers' Elton Brand enlightened him about how intertwined the sport is with entertainment during the early days of his career.
Got a game 7, out the bam, this gonna be lit. So Elton's like, we're gonna have to win by 15 just to win by 1. So I'm like, what you mean? He's like, bro, this is the NBA, it's entertainment.
You gotta win by 15 because you have to win by 1. You have to be up so much that
Don't affect it. And LeBron is in the Heat or waiting. Would you rather watch the Celtics or the Sixers play the Heat? I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm on the team. I wouldn't even watch the Sixers play the Heat type shit. Like, I say, would you watch that game next week if it was a Heat versus the Sixers? I'm like, nah. And he's just like, they're well aware of the storyline. It's not like nothing. Like, it's a consumer base. Like, I understand everything. Like, we all love it. But like, when you sit there, it's just real shit to know. When I would go into certain games, I tell young dudes the same thing. Like, yo, we got to win by 15 and win by 1. And I understand it. So it's like, so we get in this game, you know how much money the NBA is going to lose.
Then there are incidents like the healthcare fraud scheme that ran between 2017 and 2021, involving NBA players with the assistance of chiropractors, dentists, and doctors. This involved scandalous cases like Gregory Smith, claiming for root canals in Beverly Hills while playing in Taiwan. In fact, 18 players in total were said to be involved.
The 18 NBA veterans are accused of ripping off the league's health benefits plan by filing fake claims for medical procedures that never happened.
The defendant's playbook involved fraud and deception.
Prosecutors allege ex-NBA player Terrence Williams orchestrated the scheme, recruiting other players by offering fake invoices for chiropractic treatments and dental care. According to the indictment, they submitted nearly $4 million worth of claims. The health plan paid out $2.5 million. Williams allegedly got $230,000 in kickbacks from the other players.
Over time, 13 pleaded guilty to the charges. Of those who have been sentenced, many received time served or probation. But reportedly, Terrence Williams was the key, ensuring that he made a little bonus cash out of his role too.
Was the scheme's linchpin. He provided the other former players with false invoices for medical and dental procedures that they never received.
Williams was selected by the New Jersey Nets with the 11th pick in the 2009 draft.
The plan paid out $2.5 million to the defendants, and Williams received approximately $230,000 in kickbacks.
It's even alleged that he extorted certain players to keep them involved, leading to further blemishes on the league's rep.
He frightened the player into re-engaging with Williams by impersonating an employee from the plan's administrative manager and claiming that there was an issue with the defendant's invoice that might require him to pay back the plan.
Look, it's the NBA, mega billion-dollar league, and yeah, this doesn't look, it's not a good look for them.
And while others escaped the jail time, he received a 10-year sentence amid claims that he sought to intimidate witnesses. You were yet another player who let go of substantial earnings from the period of time when you played professional basketball. Judge Valerie E. Caproni told him, "You should have had enough money to be set for life, but you don't." In addition to the custodial sentence, he was offered to forfeit more than $650,000 and to pay $2.5 million in restitution for ripping off the NBA's health and welfare benefit plan. So while there are plenty of unsubstantiated rumors out there, a story like this proves that sometimes NBA players really are getting down like that. But other times, they are the victims of smear campaigns, forced to clear their names against completely baseless claims, or simply have to prove that things didn't happen in the way that they were being portrayed. With that, it probably pays to not jump to conclusions, as next time you judge a player before you get all the facts, you might wind up eating your words down the road.